Hello and welcome to your regular talk show, Journalist Hangout. My name is Ayodele Ozubakun. On the show today, All Progressive Congress grabs overwhelming majority in the National Assembly. I'll be joined by Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Mojid Jamiu. Welcome back. The National Assembly, Presidential and National Assembly election that was conducted last week, gentlemen, and the All Progressive Congress actually won the presidency. And as of yesterday, we've not gotten the full list of who got what in the National Assembly. The Senate with 109 seats and the House of Representatives with 360 seats. But we've been seeing the trend and pattern, and it will be safe to say the All Progressive Congress actually grabbed comfortable majority in the National Assembly. How easy would this be for the administration of Muhammadu Buhari?
Yes, it's a good sign for the administration. Some of the problems that the president had, the executive had with the with the Saraki-led Senate, hopefully those problems would no longer would not recur during the second term. But the party has to move fast, announce where it is zoning all those principal positions in the Senate too. Because the mistake that was made the last time was that the party didn't make the announcement early enough. And once people start campaigning, they start spending money up and down on their colleagues.
Already
By the time you tell them that they should hands off, or that they should step back, that the thing has been zoned to a particular zone, they are not likely to listen to you. It happened during the time of Tambuwal. Remember, Tambuwal had begun working on his colleagues. By the time the leadership of the party announced that, the PDP announced that it was settling for Mulika, it was already too late. And Tambuwal was not going to agree to step down. So at the end of the day, the PDP-led House of Reps could not produce the choice of the national leadership of the party. So it's the same thing that happened with Bukola Saraki. The leadership of the APC was warned that it was wasting unnecessary time, that it needed to quickly make its choice known in terms of which zone should get the Senate presidency, which zone should get the Deputy Senate presidency. But they didn't do that on time. Bukola Saraki had already moved around, enlisted the support of the Sultan and other influential people, you know. He has spent so much money. At that point, when you now tell him that this is a decision of the party, he's not likely to listen. So by the time the party presented its own choice, it was not difficult for Bukola Saraki to defeat the choice of the party, because he had worked hard for months. In fact, I was told that before even the election, before the 2015 election, he had been planning to become Senate president, and he had been reaching out to some of his colleagues, even supported some of his colleagues with money so that they would get into the Senate. So with having committed his resources, his time and energy into that venture, Bukola was not going to listen to his party. And at the end of the day, the party he actually even went and negotiated with the PDP so that he could get the support of the PDP member. So at the time the party told him, look, this is who we wanted, it was not, Bukola Saraki refused to listen.
Julie spoke about zoning, where the leadership should zone, or how they should zone that thing, and that's got me thinking. In the 8th Assembly, they didn't have any legislator that came from the southeastern part of the country. as a ranking senator. Yeah. So naturally,
through the election,
we were thinking that APC would zone the Senate presidency to the Southeast. Yeah. But because they didn't have any ranking senator at that time, so it went to the North Central, or it was up for grab. Yeah. Right now, what is the situation?
Yeah, even now, there is still no ranking senator coming from the Southeast for the APC, because Okorosha, who just won a ticket, is a first-timer, except they want to bend the rule. We might be
like they did for Akpabio.
Like they did for Akpabio. But you know, Akpabio they didn't go for the presidency. I mean, it was a minority leader. So it was easy to bend the rule. But then, in politics, anything can happen. Like Jide said, Lawan was positioned by the party to be the Senate president. While there was a diversion at the conference center, I mean, we were all here that day watching, and before we could say Jack Robinson, it was live on all 9 national networks that Bukola Saraki said he stayed overnight at the car park of the National Assembly, from where he emerged. From where he emerged. No, he said it himself. From where he emerged as senator. But that's a story for another day. But all that is history now.
You could still have won, even
if there
was no diversion.
Because it got a huge support from
the PDP.
From the PDP, not from Akpabio. Akpabio was one of those who supported him, and even the former governor of Ekiti State then, Ayo Fayose, who mandated the 3 senators, most of the senators from the southwest.
All the senators from the
southwest and southeast,
also from PDP.
All of them. So all of them supported the candidacy of Saraki, so as to diminish the status of the ruling party.
In exchange for the deputy senate.
In exchange for the deputy, which actually for the first time went to an opposition, Ekweremadu. So, but with the 9th Senate that is loading, I don't think the APC leadership will make the same kind of mistake like made, especially with the synergy between the national leader of the party, I mean, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the chairman of the party, as well as the president. So, I mean, there's a synergy between the tripod that runs the party now. And I think the president has learned some of the mistakes that led to the emergence of Saraki, and I doubt if he will make that kind of mistake again.
Babajide, is this healthy for our democracy? Where will be the room for checks and balances if the National Assembly is crowded with the All Progressive Senator or the Senate with lawmakers from basically the All Progressive Congress?
You see, even when the PDP had 2/3 majority in both chambers of the National Assembly, the National Assembly still always disagreed with Obasanjo. Go back into history, you see that they never really always agreed with Obasanjo from the first day, despite the fact that the PDP had 2/3 majority. Until 2015, PDP always had, after every election, they would take 2/3 majority. But Obasanjo and Naba, they were not friends. Yeah. Obasanjo and even Masari, as gentle as Masari was, they were not friends. Obasanjo continued to chase Senate presidents, force Senate presidents out of power, all because they were not really doing his bidding. Remember, from Okadigbo, then went to Okadigbo, they never really, and the Senate always had people who would pile pressure on Obasanjo, who would criticize Obasanjo so much, even if they were from the same party. Like that senator from Gombe who died. Gombe. One senator from Gombe, I think is Idris or something. I've forgotten. A very eloquent senator. They were in the same party. But they always, so they may not, the National Assembly has its job. Its job is not simply to be the rubber stamp of the president. No. The job of the National Assembly is to ensure that we get the kind of laws that will make progress happen in our country. So in doing that, they don't have to be anybody's rubber stamp or boy. No, that's far from it. It is still possible for the National Assembly to do its job without necessarily kowtowing before the president, because that's not their responsibility. And I can tell you that if the leadership of the National Assembly now becomes the rubber stamp of the executive, there will be revolt from within. Because what that could lead to is a situation in which even respect for them will diminish. And they will not want that. All we want is a situation in which the National Assembly and the executive are working in harmony to bring progress. No one is saying that, oh, they must always agree. Because even in disagreements at times, great decisions are taken. It's just like even in a family setting. We don't always have to agree. But our goal is the same. The goal is peace and progress. So they don't have to always agree. If your idea is better than my idea, you push your idea aggressively, and ultimately your idea may carry the day. So they should just, what we want is for them to work together. That's the way it is in other lands. Even when the Congress is dominated by Republicans, you still see that they are checking the president. They are telling the president to do what's right. You know, they are not going to do their job as if they are an appendage of the executive. No. If they do that, then they've let down the Nigerian people, because that's not what they were elected to do.
Okay, as we did yesterday, let me take you back to our special Independence Day edition that we did in 2018, where Babajide actually predicted it, that the so-called third force might not be able to unseat President Muhammadu Buhari, and the third force actually could not unseat President Buhari.
You have an Obasanjo who said he was no longer interested in partisan politics, coming up with ADC. What is the meaning of that? If you say you are not interested in partisan politics, what are you doing? Because I saw the card of ADC in your hand. What are you doing? You see, what they think is that by forming a new party, they will be able to dislodge Muhammadu Buhari or the government. The opposition as it is now is weak. People have forgotten that an election will take place in February. February is close. There is a big problem. There is a big problem of branding. You need to put that party in the consciousness of the people for a long time before they can begin to see that party as their own. So if you think that you can seat the president with a new party, you are wasting your time.
What are you saying, Jide?
A new party at this time, maybe an ADC, not SDP, because clearly Obasanjo does not want to work with SDP anymore, since his plan to hijack the party was defeated. So he prefers his ADC. I'm saying that with a new party, an ADC, you cannot unseat a government as entrenched as that of the APC, because you want to compare what happened the last time in 2013, 2014. You can't. Who is going to, the APC spends so much money to be where it is today. Who is going to bring that kind of money at this stage? Who? And then, of course, the big problem that politicians have in Nigeria, especially in the dominant parties, is this winner-takes-all idea. These people are going to fight themselves dirty. They are not going to agree with one another, because everyone thinks that, look, it has to be my turn. Oh, it has to be me. So when you look at the situation, you will find that, I've said it before, that you need at least 2 cycles of elections before APC can be kicked out of power.
2 cycles.
2 cycles. And I'm very confident that that's what will happen. Because The opposition is really, really weak at this time. The opposition is weak, no doubt about it.
Same Buhari that came into power in 2015, he is no longer the same. He came as a messiah then. He is coming as Buhari, a human being now. Not the same. Number two.
Of course, the viewers.
Number two. No. Number two.
You have your time. You have your
Okay.
time.
All right.
It is the viewer, hold on before he talks. It is the Nigerian voters who will determine whether they still want him or not. It is the Nigerian voters, not you and I. One thing is, I always say that time is a gentleman. The things that I see are products of the places that I've been to. Maybe some months back I thought there was a problem. But even the people in NPDP, even these people, a lot of them are reluctant to leave because they are not sure. They are not sure of what will happen. So some of them believe, okay, with all this problem, maybe we should just remain here.
All right.
If you underrate Buhari's popularity in the Northwest, all of those politicians that you talked about, you listed states, none of them can match Buhari in a contest in the Northwest. My friend Sule Lamido tried it, walking on the streets of Bauchi State. You saw the disgrace that they gave him. So the man still retains the core states that he had in 2011. He still retains those core states that he had in 23, 2011, 27. He still had those states. And he has the Southwest as well. So I do not see how in this next election, from what I see, and time is the judge, time will judge me, I do not see how the opposition will...
We have the likes of... Time has vindicated Babajide Kolade Tutoju. That was May 29, our Independence edition.
Yes, yeah, I could recall that edition. I mean, you see, when we talk on journalist Hangout, they think we are on the side of a particular political party, but then we've also had situations where we hit hard on the ruling party. I mean, where the need be, because here I think we say it the way it is. And like Babajide has always said, I don't know, maybe apart from Sardauna, I don't know that person living today that can upstage a Buhari. If there's a room for a third term, Buhari will win it. Honestly, that is the truth.
Easily, sir.
Easily, he will win it. Look at the votes he's been very, very consistent, and that has manifested. And a lot of people, and those who claimed that they were the ones that made Buhari, now they could not make themselves. And I mean, an example is Saraki. Saraki lost woefully. Saraki, one of the videos that we saw, he said he was one of those who made Buhari, and he got there, they forgot him, they didn't remember him in appointments, things that should come to Kwara, they won't inform him as Senate President, he doesn't have input. I mean, he was saying all kind of things, but now look at the margin of loss in Kwara State. All the senators, all the reps,
Buhari.
it was too much.
Hurricane Otoge.
Yes, Hurricane Otoge. I mean, it has become a phenomenon, and so many others. And you see a different Dino in that assembly, because you recall that we have a David Mark, former Senate President, in the 8th Assembly, but do you often hear him? No. And if peradventure Lawan becomes the Senate President, then Dino knows that he's going to be a very, very silent floor member, because they won't call him. It is a natural rule. I mean, these are some of the things that will emerge, and you are going to have an Amosu in that Senate who is a die-hard Buharist. You have a Senator Lu Adetumbi coming back to the chamber, very fantastic guy from Ekiti State. You have Okoyemi Bamidele, who has been upgraded from reps to Senate now. You know, we have.
Will he be ranking? Will he be classified as a ranking lawmaker?
No. Adetumbi will be classified as a ranking lawmaker, but I wouldn't know what status they will give to Okoyemi Bamidele. He has been upgraded from the Green Chamber to the Red Chamber. So I don't know what the rule says on that, but then it's been a member of the National Assembly. But I don't know what the rule says about that. But it's going to be a very lively ninth Senate.
Babajide, what was going on in your mind when you were sticking your neck and talking categorically, you know, for that special edition?
Well, I don't think, if you remember, you must have asked me up to 5 times. In this same edition, they're still going to play another tape, where I was far more definitive.
I think let's talk to our producer.
Far more definitive about what will happen.
All right.
What I'm saying is based on what I see. And time is always the judge, because we will all, maybe if a few months down the line, we will sit down and say, but he said this. So someone is an incumbent now, he has power. Don't compare 2015 with when he now has power. And people know how to use power. People know how to use power. So that is enough.
The action from here, gentlemen, final take on this.
Now,
final take.
There are
final
4
take.
groups of people that will determine the
You have
election.
30 seconds.
Yes. First, the power brokers. 2, the political stakeholders. Then 3, masses. Then 4, the elite. Now, first, those stakeholders that you used in 2015 that didn't get anything back and would know that if you come back for second term, they may not get. They won't sit and watch the same way. 2, let me tell you today that people are saying different things on the street. If the president is comfortable, he should do something better to be more comfortable.
Adekule.
The APC and President Muhammadu Buhari, they blamed their way into Aso Rock in 2015. 2019, Nigerians won't accept that. They want to know what they have done to help the situation. They inherited a bad situation. They want to know how far they have done.
Babajide, wrapping up on this.
Well,
Fine.
I still stand on what I said earlier, that the president will win the next election.
President will win the next election.
He will win the next election. And that is not saying that. And that is not saying that I am satisfied with all that he has done so far. That's not what I'm saying, no. I believe that the president can do better than he has done. But looking at the dynamics and the nature of our politics, I don't see how he can be defeated for now.
Can you beat that? The maestro himself. Low and behold.
You see,
I remember that day so well that everyone felt, what was he saying? What was he saying? Why is he talking? Even the audience. Yes, even the audience. People were like, why is he sticking his neck out? Why is he talking like this? Why is he, you know? But the truth is, making predictions is not, or should not be a function of your emotions. It's about just saying it the way it is. Even if you do not want someone to win an election, if from all your calculations or permutations, that person looks likely to win it, you just have to say it. You just have to leave your sentiments aside. The problem we have is that it's difficult for a lot of us to put sentiments aside. And when you say that, oh, Dino is going to win the election in Kogi, because that was what I saw. I said even if they lock him up in prison or from hospital, he will win by a landslide. That is what happened. So people will say, oh, he likes Dino. Oh, he's praising Dino to high heavens. But that is, saying the truth is not the same thing as praising someone. When I said nobody will be able to impeach Saraki, that APC will not find the number, it's not as if I like Saraki as a person. But I looked at the situation, I knew they would never find the number. Though the national chairman was boasting, I knew he would never be able to impeach him. It is reality that it is the truth that one is talking about, not emotions, not sentiment.
you know, we have been around for so long that we understand some politics in Nigeria. I've taken part as a political activist. I've participated in an election day activity, and I know what it takes for somebody to emerge a winner. Some people will stay on Twitter and Facebook. They will be predicting and talking. But you see,
And abusing people.
and abusing people.
And they didn't have any polling units on.
Their polling unit is in the hemisphere. It's in the stratosphere. And you see, I keep telling them, elections are won and lost on the field. Because, see, we have 120,000 polling units and about 40,000 polling points. Put together, you have about 160,000. You need to put at least one agent and one canvasser. And they are not going to be volunteers. You pay them between 5,000 and 10,000.
God damn it.
That alone.
That's how much?
I don't know mathematics.
Billions.
Yes, I don't know mathematics. So
That's why a small party can't go far.
you can't go far.
Can't go far.
I'm happy for my brother Showore. He won with a landslide.
33,000.
In his polling units, he won with a landslide because he was there.
A lot of people didn't win their polling.
A lot of people didn't win their polling units.
Bigger politicians than him didn't win their polling.
So it's a credit.
It's an achievement.
It's an
to win your
achievement.
polling unit.
Yes.
And
You can't taunt him.
I think he came third or fourth.
Third, I think so. Abi?
Yeah,
No,
third.
third. So,
Yeah.
no, he didn't come third. It
So-
was a candidate of PCP.
Because
And that PCP
is
is located close to
PDP.
PDP.
So a lot of
So
people
he,
would have been
he got more
talking
than 100,000
thousand
votes.
votes. Yes.
He must have benefited from people wanting to.
And you don't even know his name.
You don't
Don't even have to know the name. Yes.
So the long ballot paper, so people might want to.
Obadiah Melafia got far more votes than he got more than double Showore's votes.
Than even Mogadu.
That's ADC. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, ADC candidate.
Why?
That
How?
is it.
Oh, ADC is strong in some parts of the southwest
Yes.
and Adamawa State.
Yeah. So
You know, because some people defected from the APC.
The Yakus there.
Yeah.
So
to
the defection of some people in Adama to ADC made ADC stronger. So that's why Obadiah Melafia, former
So
CBN.
when you talk about being patriotic, youth corpers are paid 4,900 naira as ad hoc staff on election day. So, and some of them will be telling you, we need to look for something for us. So, in fact, they are not even paid until after the election. So,
And they could be hungry.
they could be hungry. People will make provision of entertainment and welfare for them. So, it's a huge.
It's extremely expensive.
It's a very expensive business to fund elections. And so some people will sit somewhere
And be
and
blowing English.
they'll be blowing English that so somebody with that one article will come from somewhere and beat Buhari. Where will he get the numbers? Where will he get the people? Some people collected this money and used it. They didn't even go to the polling units.
But he actually gave a good account of himself.
You get a good account. That's putting many parameters
Yes,
together.
he
That was
actually
a close race.
Give a good account
thing
of
is,
himself.
because
almost 4 million is not close.
No, it's
No,
close.
it's-
It's not figures.
how
alone.
many states?
Look at the spread.
Look at the spread.
The president only
17.
won
19 states.
19
17
states, and he won
states.
17 states, and he won the FCT. That's 18. That's not all. He won 4 extra states. The president only won 2 extra states.
You are right.
So
Yeah,
you
he
cannot
won
say
Ondo,
that was a good performance.
Ondo,
Whichever way you look at
Made
it.
inroad into the southwest.
Yes,
Oyo?
into the
Yes,
Southwest,
he
Ondo
won
and
some
Oyo.
states. You know,
And even Oshun was a close shave.
yes, 10,000 gap.
10,000 gap. Oshun was a very close shave.
That's the thing. He
So
gave,
he tried.
I keep saying that he should not see himself as a loser. He did well in this election. If they told you that he will have 40% of the votes in Sokoto, I'm sure you will have argued.
Yeah.
Because a friend of mine based in Abuja, when I said Atiku will have 40%, I said it last Thursday here. He said, no, he cannot have 40%. But me, I knew why I said so. He eventually had 41% from Sokoto. I also said he will have 40% from Kaduna, and he had 39 point something percent. So the truth is, in states in the past where Goodluck Jonathan didn't even score up to 25%, Atiku scored over.
Yeah.
Atiku scored over, like I think is in Niger. I think he scored 26% or so in Niger. In the past, they weren't scoring up to that. You know,
think he actually-
and even in some places where he didn't score up to 25, you will see him score like 22. So that was a good.
Gombe was particularly painful for the PDP and for Atiku because I mean, he scored
The governor,
20.
the governor lost.
Yeah, no, apart from that, it's a PDP-controlled state. With all now, the PDP scored 24.99%, and you don't abbreviate votes. I mean, you don't merge votes. I mean, you don't abbreviate to 25. 24.99. That's what PDP scored in Gombe. A PDP, supposedly PDP state, and the governor also lost the senatorial ticket.
Yes.
I mean, you know, he's doing the second term.
Lost
And this is a
though.
governor that did very well. I mean, fantastic young man. He had a very large expanse of land, which is using for mechanized farming. Dakwambo would have been good to have that kind of person at the Senate, but then, unfortunately,
Probably he didn't get his politics right. Don't get politics right.
yeah.
This is what happens.
Do we have any other party that actually made inroad into the National Assembly,
No.
whether through the House of Representatives or the Senate?
through the
There
Senate.
could be a sprinkling of small parties winning.
In the reps.
Like reps, especially.
but,
Reps. Like Ondo, for example,
there's
SDP.
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 Yeah.
One
Defeated Akimade.
defeated Afro Kayode
Fedor.
The former commissioner for information.
And then
on the-
Abga won an House of Reps seat in Benue.
Benue.
That's one of the children of
And I
the
think also
former Senate
either
president.
Anambra or Abia.
You know, one of the children of the
Abga
Senate president.
Abga also
Yes.
picked one seat there.
So it's
Abga.
going to House of
Yes.
Reps through Abga.
There.
So there are
Then APM might pick either APM
think
or
No, they
ONC
picked
might
House
pick-
of Rep.
House of Rep.
They picked up of Rep in the Ipokia area,
Yes,
where the
APM.
candidate is actually from.
Akinlade.
What-
Yes, but I think there's an arrangement for anybody who wins under APM to defect to APC after. I hope that arrangement subsists after the governorship election. You know, Ogun is somewhere to look at, to watch out for the
For the-
governorship.
But the interesting thing is that even in states where the APC lost the election, they dominated the National Assembly
Assembly,
election.
like
So
Oyo.
you see clearly that people were not simply voting for party.
They actually distinguished.
Yes, and some of those lawmakers, I also want to believe that some of those lawmakers worked harder for themselves than they work for the president.
What happened to
some
Abga in
of those
Anambra
places.
State?
No, the thing
The
is,
ruling
the
party.
truth is, from the beginning, PDP has always been the strongest party in Anambra. Check, you go back, because how do you measure it? Abga may produce the governor, but PDP always dominates the
Controls
National
even
Assembly
even the
election,
state
and
assembly,
even the state assembly.
But then they
You
find
know?
a way of working
So
together.
is the most dominant party in that state. If they had the PDP has always been unlucky, because if Andy Uba had been allowed to
pick that ticket.
to even keep the governorship,
Okay.
you know, it
okay.
was this Supreme Court chased
Andy
him
Uba.
away.
Okay,
And
yes.
if Andy Uba had succeeded, maybe we would have seen a reign of the PDP in Anambra. But PDP is on ground. It's the party to beat in Anambra. It's the dominant party, you know. And across the southwest, the southeast, PDP is the biggest party, and it shows in all these elections. Even we are talking about Imo or anywhere, they've done very well in the southeast. The southeast, they've done very well. I think that is the zone where President Buhari didn't really do well. You know,
It will take a miracle for Buhari, because Obi is so loved in the southeast, and most of the votes.
and he's one of them.
And he's one of them, and he speaks their language. He is a businessman. It's not Atiku that did the job. Rather, it was
PRP, I'm just being told that PRP won 2 seats in Bauchi.
That's PRP.
Yes, in Bauchi
Balarabe
Central.
Musa's party.
two rep
Yes.
seats.
2 rep seats.
Yeah.
2 rep seats in Bauchi. I know that PRP is strong in Bauchi. They are also making a statement in Kano. We don't know what will eventually
Now,
happen.
gentlemen, what should we do about these political parties? We had 93 political parties participating in this election and 73 actually fielding presidential candidates. And we just discovered that
Before I forgot, someone was saying that we could have up to 20 former governors in the Senate. Maybe when we sit
Out
down.
of 109.
I said we could have up to 20 former governors, including the Gojes who had been there and those
Yes.
just coming in.
Yes, because
That means they will form a block.
because Ibikunle Amosu is coming in now. Is joining them, and
Yari is coming.
Yari is coming.
Abdulaziz.
Yari.
Zamfara.
Is coming.
Gedam is coming.
Gedam is coming.
From Yobe.
From Yobe. Ajimobi lost out narrowly.
Rochas is coming.
Rochas is coming. So it's going to.
Rochas is coming.
Yeah, so it's going to be a house of.
From what somebody just corrected me that they are 15. There will be 15 in number.
Right. So it's a senate. It's a senate of big boys.
15, not 20.
So they can actually form a block. So these political parties, I was discussing with you yesterday. We can't continue like this. As a lot of Nigerians were actually groaning in pains when they were reeling out the results. That let's just know what is happening to PDP and APC. But the bottom line is that somebody actually suggested that if it's an assembly seat, you can't win one House of Assembly seats across all the state House of Assemblies. How come you are a political party?
And AY is a function of our Constitution and the Electoral Act.
And I gathered that some people are actually, the applications are actually still pending.
Yes.
Yes.
It means
So
we could
I
be going to
think-
115.
Well,
At the end of the
I
day, that we
believe
could have
that
up to more than 100 political parties.
INEC is not being sincere. They are not doing a thorough job because I think what the law says is that you must have representative office in the 36 states and FCT. It's very simple. I can come to you and get some.
That's before they are registered.
Yeah, before they are registered. That's a simple thing. So anybody can do that. But when the chips are down, 73 of them actually feel that because before now, INEC will give them money for logistics, the observers and stuff like that.
Before now?
Yes.
Yeah, before
They
now.
don't give them again
They
because
don't
some
give them
people
again.
are still misrepresenting it. And
Yes.
INEC still fund this.
And if you look at the presidential ballot paper, you see that 73. But for for the Senate and House of
Oh, we didn't add. They do add Kashim Shettima.
and reps, it's just one very small cheat.
Bonu governor.
Yes, coming.
He's going
but
to be in the Senate.
Yeah, so you could see that I think they know their limits. You see, some people are gunning for relevance. It's also relevant that yes,
Yes.
my name is.
And they
on
are
the
using it
ballot.
to negotiate.
They are using it to negotiate. Now,
After a while, they will say, okay, we are supporting Mr. President. One of them will just go. A man who, whether you support him or not, is going to win.
going to win.
You know, with hefty votes from
the other day, we
Yobe
saw
and other places.
67 parties. Those people call themselves CUPP, Conference of
Political parties.
for political parties, saying they are backing a particular candidate. Then some people come there and say about 50
It's
parties.
negotiation.
It's just adding to the numbers. A candidate that knows that even on election day he won't score more than 20 votes, will he say yes, I'm endorsing so person?
Like Afenifere endorsed Atiku Abubakar.
If a faction of
a
Afenifere
faction.
endorsed Atiku,
A faction.
while the Baba Elder Ayo Fasomins endorsed Buhari. So we have seen whose endorsement works now. Although in the southwest,
In the southwest,
They
it
made
was
a good-
the difference was 250,000.
yeah,
In the end.
just 250,000.
The both endorsements worked.
Yeah.
So these political parties.
Yeah, honestly, what I think we can do, we have to look at that law again. We must find a way to amend that law. It's not helping anybody to have up to 90-something parties, and you want all of them to be on the ballot. It makes no sense.
Look at that
We
ballot.
have to find a way.
For so long.
Yeah.
We have to find a way
Three
Over 2 million
three rows.
voted votes.
3 rows. Yeah.
A time will come when we will have, they will give each of us a booklet, and they will call it a ballot paper. A booklet, you just take a booklet. Because if the number keeps growing, if it keeps growing at the geometric rate that is growing, that's what will happen.
I think it's the National Assembly that can help us there. Maybe limit it to 6 political parties.
No, even the thing
Honestly.
is, let them even start by, let's they amend the law and set up parameters by which you can get on the ballot. No, people can form
is not
parties,
it's
but
too-
not
too
everyone
cumbersome.
can get should
On
get
the
on
ballot.
the ballot. So they can either say, okay, all the parties that didn't win any elective position across board.
Yeah.
Whether it's in fact, I'm telling you that even if it's a local government election or ward election, a lot of them will not win.
They still
So
won't win.
they should first disqualify those ones that can't point to a single elective position that they won. So when they disqualify them, they should now, I'm sure that if we do successfully disqualify them, we'll be down to maybe like 10 or even 6. That's the thing, because a lot of them...
There was this joke on that day, when it was getting too serious. I mean, we'll start counting from AA to YPP. I mean, from 1 to 73. Now,
the funny names.
Somebody now sent...
Zenith Labour Party.
Somebody posted a message that somebody should tell INEC they should just announce APC and PDP, they are the dominant parties. Then the others, they should go and buy the scratch card, scratch card, and check their result online. Very funny indeed. Honestly,
as if it's jam results.
It could be excruciating. I mean, imagine AA. Look at
you
that.
Must read it.
Look at the electoral, the returning officer from the one Professor, I think Shore Mekun, the VC of FOE. The man.
Federal University
Federal University of Oye. The man had difficulties between AAC and ADC.
It was so confusing.
I mean, to the extent that the INEC chairman had to ask him, do you need more lights? Or do you need ruler? Or do you need boats? Or halogen?
Like that professor of 2015.
Like the professor from
River State.
No, I think it's Delta.
River State.
Rivers.
4 years ago.
Yeah. So we had another because those names were just too.
And it's
save ourselves the Azos.
And I'm sure that also adds to the cost of running this election.
Yes.
The fact that you are so many parties and you must produce.
You have to do the artwork.
You waste more paper on them.
I gathered from INEC that they actually printed those ballot boxes, papers in 5 different countries. Just to
some of these innocuous parties will still go to court and challenge INEC that their logo was not properly imprinted in the ballot.
So
see,
that affected them
substantially. This is Nigeria. Even though they will say, man, they could have gotten more votes, but that their logo was not too visible, as if their logo is or that of APC or PDP.
Before we go, Babajide, let's talk about INEC. It is ridiculous that in 2019 that we had to get to do election, and in our polling units, the result will be physically transmitted from the polling units to the ward unit.
Yeah.
From that ward unit, it will go to local government unit.
Yes.
From local government unit, it will go to state unit. From state, it will now go to...
You carry the box and face Abuja.
Manually. In 2019. And when it gets to Abuja too will not use Microsoft Excel or spreadsheet or Access.
No.
They will not compute it manually.
PDF it. Or JPEG it.
And
so you can...
It will take 48 or 72 hours to get results of today.
Like someone was arguing, sometimes when you want to make yourself happy, just go on social media and read the arguments of funny people. Someone was saying, you are complaining that Senegal did the election the same time with us, and their result was out under 24 hours. He said, don't you know that Senegal is a much smaller country?
Not of America or India.
Indonesia
or India
big
or
countries.
China.
India is the largest democracy in the world. If they do an election today, in 24 hours, everybody knows who has won. So if you cannot say that India...
1.3 billion or so.
In fact, it's projected that in 20 years, India will overtake China as the world's most populous nation. So if they can do an election, and within 24 hours, they know who has won. America is never, ever up to 24 hours before they know who has won.
Yeah.
That's the way they do their election.
We'll
monitor their election at night. State by state, they will be announcing. With Blizzard, he doesn't sleep. His eyes will be...
He doesn't wait for any INEC. Everybody knows. There's a platform where you just go there, you see the results.
Everybody, because they project. Yeah. They project, and they call this their exit polls, or what do they call it? They do exit polling. On the queue, they're asking you, who do you want to vote for? who did you vote for as you are stepping out of the polling center. That way, they will be able to, and there will be other media houses, many media houses doing that exit polling. At the end of the day, they will be able to project that this person has taken Florida, this person has taken New York. I'm not even suggesting that we should embrace the American style, but there are other countries that we can copy where you can't rig an election. For me, I don't want to hear about rigging because it diminishes us as a people that we are rigging. We have to find a way so that all those boys carrying cutlasses about in Lagos, in rivers and other places, they will not be able to. Technology will effectively shut them out.
Yeah.
Which cutlass? They do look at the election, the municipal elections in South Africa.
No, Kaduna tried this thing too.
It didn't work. It didn't work. I was rigging in spite of that one.
You still use ballot papers.
I was rigging even in spite of that one. They can't swear to God that there was no rigging. In South Africa, the municipal elections, you know, ANC lost some of their usual strongholds. Nelson Mandela Bay, where some of their biggest heroes came from, they lost to those smaller parties now. Because you are not going to rig. Now, how are you going to rig?
No,
How are you going to rig?
I think we should avail ourselves.
Technology will help us to be able to do elections that the results will be delivered faster. It will enable us to do elections that people can't tamper with, that will ensure that it is the people who deserve to win that win. You will be reading reports that policemen, they are beating up a whole DCP. I even saw the pictures. A whole DCP, see the way they are dragging him. There's because now police.
Policemen.
Thugs.
Yes.
Dragging him.
Yes, I saw.
Dragging him.
I saw that video in River State.
In Ojota, you can see that policeman was helpless. That, I mean, where he was trying to struggle with the ballot, was trying to protect the ballot box before that thug came and took the stuff from him. It was helpless because on just him alone,
They could have killed him.
and the law does not allow them to carry arms.
Yes, armed.
But
So that
with the effective use
I
of
said they were
technology,
carrying the whole DCP. They dragged him by his trouser.
but you see, honestly,
Those boys in the South.
No,
Jokes-
they are different breeds.
jokes apart, with the effective deployment of technology, how come accounts are not being hacked? I mean, except there is a connivance from an insider.
Yes.
There are several layers of security architecture that allows the transmission of these electronic votes to be safe via the internet or through the iCloud. So I think the president should take a look again at the Electoral Act and endorse the use of electronic e-voting and transmission
Even Nigerians
of
in diaspora
votes.
should be able to
Yeah,
vote.
should be able to vote.
So it's a matter of going anywhere.
So because I think that should be the next level for us, so that we won't have a situation where a professor will finish as electoral officer.
Moju, you're an APC member.
in
Said
APC
next
state.
level. You said next
Using
level.
their slogan. You know the thing, we should be able to just make our elections more peaceful,
Transparent,
fraud-free,
credible, yeah.
credible. We have to grow as a nation because it is one of the ways by which the world can judge us whether we are really making progress as a nation. If we can't deliver elections that roughnecks will not be snatching ballot boxes, we should even devise means by which you don't need all those papers to vote. Honestly, I pray for a day when you and I we can vote on our phones, so that we can do our businesses.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
You know, you don't lock down a country. Where do they do elections that they lock down a country? They close the borders.
In
they-
20, in
some
20
people were
very
going
forward.
to, you know, some of these Abuja people, some of them registered in Kefi. They wanted to go and vote in Kefi. The army didn't allow them to cross. They were disenfranchised. So next time you want to go and vote in Kefi or Akwanga, you better leave a day before.
In 2015, I recalled myself and the chief press secretary to the governor of Lagos State now, Abi Baruno. We covered, we were reporting live from UK. We covered the election that brought in Theresa May. And what happened? I won't forget the name of that primary school, Mary Magdalene Primary School in Woolwich, London.
Let's go.
You have elections taking place in a primary school. School was in session.
Hey, you can't do that
My
now.
school was in session.
You can't do that now. You can't do that
Markets
now.
will be open.
Yeah.
MJ, I want to thank you. Thank you so much. And the Nostradamus of our time, the Nostradamus in this house.
I thank you.
The man who sees tomorrow.
The man who says tomorrow, Baba Jide Kolade told you. And that's all on Journalist Hangout. Join us tomorrow for another interesting episode of the program. We're also on YouTube, youtube.com/tvcnews.tv. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangouts at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Uzuba. Bye for now. God bless you.